Welcome to sunny Spain for this week's edition of the Week in Triathlon. Let's roll that intro and get stuck into this week's news.
Like and subscribe for more.
Top of the news for you this week relates to the Ironman Africa Championships that took place just this past weekend. If you recall, in the previous edition of the Week in Triathlon, I mentioned Frederick van Leer that got mugged, beaten completely unconscious for people that wanted to steal his iPhone 7. And they made off with his iPhone 7. However, they left his brand new $18,000 Cervelo behind. So, go figure. Run off with a $500 iPhone and leave the $18,000 bicycle behind. But that's the intelligence of criminality for you. However, Frederick raced the Ironman Africa Championships, crossed the line in 7th place in a time of 8 hours, 19 minutes and 10 seconds. Looking at the super sharp end of the field, Niels Frommold managed to clock a sub-8. He did a 7 hours 59:30, but that was only good enough for second place because Ben Hoffman went 7 hours 58 minutes 40 seconds to pick up the win. On the women's side of the event, there was Daniela Reyes, and she went into the event as being the hot favorite simply because she had told absolutely nobody about the injury that she was carrying. She had an injured back that had prevented her from doing any swim training whatsoever for the 10 days prior to the event. So, in Daniela's own words, she wasn't expecting anything from the day whatsoever. All she needed was a finish to be able to validate her Kona ticket, and her initial target was to go out nice and easy, make sure she didn't hurt herself, validate her ticket, and come in a time of around about 12 hours. However, once she got out into the water, she started feeling strong and decided, wait, let me just push the swim a little bit. She came out of the water in first place and decided, well, let me just get onto the bike and go at normal pace and see what happens, but I'm prepared to back off at any time whatsoever. She came in off the bike, still leading, and decided, well, let's just go out on the run and see what happens, but I'm prepared to slow things down, take things easy if my back starts hurting at all. What does she do? She runs a sub 3-hour marathon to take the win by more than 7 minutes. The next piece of endurance sport news is not specifically triathlon related, but it's somebody that has touched the lives of many endurance athletes and triathletes the world over, and that's British long-distance ultra cyclist Mike Hall. Mike was competing in the India Pacific Wheel Race in Australia last week. He was on what would have been the morning of effectively his last day of riding at the end of the 5,500 kilometer journey when he was struck by a car and killed. The entire India Pacific Wheel Race was called off with immediate effect when the news of Mike Hall's untimely death came through, and many of you may have known Mike as number one, being the record holder for the Trans-America bike race. He was the founder of the European Transcontinental Bike Race, and what's more, much loved within the endurance cycling community. And for those of you that are interested, there is a hashtag that's been set up called Ride for Mike. Look it up, the hashtag Ride for Mike, and it's various places around the planet setting up bike rides in commemoration of Mike Hall. Next we move into the world of the ITU. The first World Cup race of the season was held in New Plymouth, New Zealand, and the ladies' race was taken home by Katie Zaferes of the USA for the second time in her career, after winning there in 2014. And on the men's side, Richard Murray of South Africa took out his third victory at New Plymouth. Then moving on to Xterra news. The first race of the Xterra Europe Tour for 2017 kicked off on the island of Malta. The women's race run by Brigitte Poor of Hungary, and the men's race won by Roger Serrano of Spain. Then heading back onto the ITU, two Chinese long-distance athletes tested positive for a substance called HCTZ at the end of October last year. And the significance of that is both athletes claimed no deliberate wrongdoing whatsoever, and a series of tests were done in a Chinese laboratory to try and find out where there might have been picked up any foodstuff that was contaminated by the banned substance. And it transpires that for extra carbohydrates, the two of them had been ingesting something called fructose sweets, but it's a fructose sweet that comes in a capsule form, and these capsules of fructose that they had been taking for extra carbohydrate had been contaminated with the banned substance, and for that reason the ITU only issued them with a 10-month retrospective ban, which means that they'll be up and free to race as early as August of 2017, in time for the next round of ITU World Long Course Championships, which is where they tested positive last year. So, in effect, from the point of view of ITU Long Course World Championship racing, there isn't really any sanction whatsoever. Moving on to our final story of the day. Last week was the Athlete of the Year Awards 2016 in the country of Bermuda, and no surprise at all that triathlete FLORA DUFFY picked up the award for Female Athlete of the Year in Bermuda. After all, she did pick up the ITU Cross Triathlon World title, she did pick up the Exterior World title, and she did pick up the ITU's World Triathlon Series World Championship title, which is a superb performance throughout the year and worthy award winner for Athlete of the Year in Bermuda as far in the women's category. The men's category went to yet another triathlete, and none other than Tyler Butterfield. And while Flora's performances through the course of 2016 have been absolutely stellar, if I'm just from a personal point of view, without going in and researching in overly much detail, and hats off to Tyler for the type of athlete he is, for the type of performances that he's been putting in over the years. For instance, his 5th place at Kona in 2015. 2016, I don't know, I can't really recall that many super stellar performances from Tyler. The one that springs to mind was Kona 2016, where he picked up a stop and go 5-minute time penalty out on the bike, and as a result of that got himself detached from the sharp end of the race, rolled his way into transition, pulled out of the race, didn't even start the run. So that being the most prestigious race of the long course calendar, being the Ironman World Championship in Kona 2016, and Tyler had a DNF there. So again, saying, not taking anything away from Tyler, but I'm just wondering how many other male athletes in Bermuda they might be feeling slightly put out that an athlete that has a DNF at the World Championship gets awarded the title of Athlete of the Year. But that's just my opinion on the matter. You may have a completely different opinion altogether. So feel free to post any comments, questions, criticisms you may have in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like the video, share it out amongst your friends. If you're new to my channel, hit the subscribe button that's down there. And last but by no means least, till the two of us meet again, stay carved up for the win. I'll see you next time. Cheers.
CoachEdu.net